You're on the record.
Good evening. I'd like to call the December 9, 2025 Beautification Commission special meeting to order. If you are able, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. May we have a roll call?
Oh, yeah, that's. Oh. Dothett.
Present.
Hale.
Present.
Ersley.
Present.
Hoffert.
Present.
Oh. Springer.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I make a motion to move the meeting as presented.
Second.
Are there any revisions to the agenda? Any objections to approving the agenda as presented? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. We have no scheduled public comments. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on any item not appearing on the agenda? Nope. Nobody on Zoom. May I have a motion to approve the October 14, 2025 minutes?
Well, motion to approve the October 14th, 2025 minutes.
I second.
Any revisions to the minutes? Any objections to approving the minutes? Hearing no objections, the minutes are approved. We have no unfinished business. May I have a motion to recommend council approval of the Parks and Recreation projects for the fiscal year 2027, fiscal year 2031 capital improvement plan as shown in the CIP plan memo?
I motion for recommending Parks and Recreation projects for fiscal year 2027 through fiscal year 2031 capital improvement plan as shown in the CIP plan memo.
I second.
All right, do we have a staff report on this?
Yep. All right, so as seen in my memo that I provided to the board, commission, capital projects usually exceed $35,000. The Parks and Recreation Master Plan is an example of a capital project that administration is currently working on. It's been approved, the money is being spent. The current proposed priority list is attached for the commission to review. So this is the current list. It encompasses a lot of what we have. A lot of this stuff is maintenance, design. We had an Old Town Playground design. Administration is working on this because that total number was 1.6 million all merged together. And step one was getting a permanent design. One of the things we've talked about is saying, like, how can we even reduce this number? So I would say this could be something that may get pushed back after approval. Sometimes these plans will get approved, then will go to a vetting after their approval, then they'll go to council, because the public works director, the city manager, and department heads will look at it. And this is almost like a puzzle piece. So it's like, oh, okay, we can kind of shuffle this to make this work here on that priority. So the Old Town Playground replacement design was originally one giant bundle of $1.6 million. And that's a lot. And is that really feasible? Are there alternative options? So those are things we're gonna discuss going forward. And I think things that might change when go to council. That's one. There was a plan in FY31 to have, it was 500,000 to replace the compressors at the ice rink. We have a draft assessment that gives administration 3 options to pursue. We're kind of looking at the most feasible right now. I took that number out. The public works director wants to put it back in because in the project description, it does say, hey, There's $500,000 here as a placeholder, kind of. That number could be a lot more, but it does address that in the plan. So that is one of those things that might pop in there that was there last year that was taken out. But I was like, it's not 100%, the number's not right on the nose, but he told me he addressed it in the full capital improvement plan. But other words than that, we have a drop curtain for the Kenai Rec, Old Town Placement redesign. Placement design, which if you look at that 1.6 million and see the breakdown, that is step one, is getting a full-on design. Like if there is going to be bathrooms, like running water bathrooms, that would really be step one. And then multi-purpose facility roof design. Our MPF roof is very old. It's had some wear and tear, and it needs to start getting that redesign going forward to keep taking care of that building. And then you can see below that, multi-purpose facility roof replacement. And then we have relocation of Parks and Rec to adopt and spec design to see what it would take to move out of our yard where we lease space from the airport and getting our own Parks and Rec place. That could always be affected by like the development of our master plan, but that's been plugged in there since before my time. So it's kind of moved around. Multi-purpose facility refrigeration system replacement design. So this is the compressor system design. There's multiple options in this plan. All the designs are roughly around here. So I put this in here, but after speaking with the public works director, I might have jumped the gun on removing that piece. So that might be added in. In FY31, there might be like a $500,000 to do a replacement design. And then, exciting enough, me and Chair Dothett met and just talked about, and we've discussed it over the years, like what is a really good beautification goal? Because I think we've talked, and later in the meeting, we're going to talk about goals and murals and things like that, and Leaf Hansen fountain and stuff like that. But street light display replacement. Our street light displays, they are starting to get a little worn. We lost 3 in the windstorm. That could have happened to a brand new one with high winds. They came down. Thankfully, someone reported it, and we were able to get someone out. It was on the sidewalk, but still, so we went and got them and everything like that. Like they didn't fall because of their old age. They fell just because the incredibly high winds.
And just to clarify, these are the poinsettia lit displays. Okay.
Yep. So to kind of do a 100% refresh. Like what could be our pattern? Are we going to do, could we do a toy soldier, a candy cane, a cardinal, a dip net with a fish jumping through it? It's not out right now, but I will say that the Parks and Rec staff we have the fish on top of the tree, and someone donated those, and one of them was broken. And we're trying to find a good place to put it, but they've made one like a sockeye. They strapped down green lights on it, and then green tail, red head. It looks really cool. From one side, it's really cool. And then they've always joked about taking the old dip nets that, like, we find broken dip nets every summer, and then really embracing the dip net fish. But no, and I think that'd be something that would be a really fun thing to work on for this commission if this plan was approved. And I think it's something that needs it. I personally, my favorite thing to say here is, I remember when I was a kid, I grew up in the middle of Soldotna, and I remember when they got new ones, and it was like, whoa, and it had that wow factor and a really cool personal factor for me. And it was something, when we were going over the agenda, I think we've talked about it lightly before, but I talked with Chair Dothett, and we decided to plug it in there to have that. So I think that could be a really cool facelift, thing for the community. That is my staff report. I just kind of wanted to go through all the projects, explain why one of the projects is broken up and why one of them's gone, even though it may be added back in there. I had the same conversation when the Parks and Recreation Commission went through this plan as well.
Thank you, Director Best. Commission discussion. So any questions? I know my first question, I can't off the top of my head remember how many displays we would approximately get with the 50,000. Did we just look at that? I can't remember.
It would depend on what we picked.
Okay.
But I think we have, I don't know after this one, I think there is about between like 35 and 45, depending on like maintenance issues and everything. And that would get us right around there. These displays are usually between $1,000 and $2,000.
Questions?
Would there be a corridor that you would address first, and then would you develop phases for addressing each corridor as you go out, or whatever direction you're going to go?
I have not got that far. I think that could be a discussion of like, though, with the commission, like how, if this gets approved, I think we could also look at like, how far can we get it? Because I think like I don't know right now, I think we have double poinsettias. If you got a single, it actually cuts the price in half and they don't look bad. So I think there's room to be like, hey, we can knock it all out, or maybe it's, hey, let's attack Kenai Spur. Because the 3 corridors we do are Willow, Airport Way, and the Kenai Spur, from basically Tinker to the Chamber. Yep.
I'm really glad
Oh,
to
and
see.
Willow to Airport Way. We don't, what?
Airport or just Willow to Airport?
Willow to Airport Way, and then Airport Way to the Spur. Yeah, sorry. We don't go like to all the way to Dobbins Beck. No.
Yes, this is awesome because we've been talking about it for 3 winters now, since I've been on this commission. So it would be nice if we decorated towards the Welcome to Kenai sign, because that's very bare, and I noticed that. We put the non-lit signs up, and that's the first thing people see when they come in, so that'd be nice. I'm super excited we can all do homework. Maybe we can pick like 5 displays each. All of us, we can all pick 5 each, and then come back and report. And then as a whole, because I think Soldotna they have so many different displays. Like they probably have at least 10 varieties of displays. Yeah, but they are spendy, I understand that. Yeah,
And I think there's a power in, I love simplicity, and like, what is it? There's like a TED Talk on, I always reference this with this things about when Head and Shoulders used to have like 32 and then they brought it down to 7 options. And it's like that, the power of like reducing choice. But I think it would be cool to look at a pattern and see what our options are. And then be like, okay, if we use this price point, we could redo the Spur like this. And then maybe we look at doing something else on Airport Way and there.
And this will only address the winter lighting, the one that need electricity for illumination, not the flags that we fly in the summer?
Yes.
So timeline-wise, if this is approved for FY '27, then we would potentially next year sometime be able to have some discussions about ordering.
I think if this is approved, we could start this, if it's approved, and this plan I think is planning to go forward to council in the second meeting of January. I think we can start planning. And then July 1st would be purchasing. Now, delays and waiting and everything, I don't know on that, but I think these conversations could happen in like March and April. If this is approved for FY '27, or if it got kicked back to FY '28, I think it's still a conversation. It could be like, hey, when would be a good work session to sit in our little circle down here, pull up a couple display companies, and other people give me other options, and then this is a high enough number where we build out a bid or a proposal for a company to come and bid on it. So. But I think it could be a really fun project too. Like you said, everyone do their homework and we come together and have a very productive like round table where we can be like, oh yeah, we like this, or like patterns and everything there too. So I can come up with some proposals, but that's something where I think community insight would be great. Be like, oh, could we find out how much, doing a custom dip net fish jumping into it would cost, or like there's options. A lot of these companies do customs that'll move up the price, but there's some cool, unique things I think we can look at. And maybe even, keep in your mind, maybe drive through Soldotna and see if there's like I think I saw Toy Soldiers, that face got blown out. That was like paper. And it's like, oh, maybe we don't want to go that. Or maybe we do like the paper because it lights up and it looks nice. I'm not trying to pick on Saldana. The windstorm, we had one fall down. So I'm saying, I think there's pros and cons to different designs.
I also think we should not try to be the same as Soldana. We should be different.
Any other discussion or amendments to this, or how do we feel about moving this forward? Nothing?
Well, it's moved and it's on the floor. So I think,
So I
No amendments?
can request unanimous consent.
I don't think you can.
I make a motion to make unanimous consent.
Any objections?
Okay. Motion passes.
All right, I'd like to open the discussion on the 2026 spring flower order. Do we have a staff report on the flowers?
Yes. I've been leaning on my memos. I've been trying to make them a little more full, but also just so I stay on the same. The gist of this memo is I think we did a really good job of reducing pink last year and reducing and adding some new ones. Something I would really like to focus forward in my department is we have some really good places that plant and look really good. But I think one place we could improve is looking at like doing better color schemes and color matching. Like, oh, hey, maybe in the big circle planters, we just do, there was one year we tried to do red, white, and blue, and it failed. The blues did not pop. They had a bad year. And we went and but I will say, I think that just the simplicity of the red and the white looked really nice, and it kind of fit our community vibe. So that may be something we look at, like placement of like, hey, how can we do a better, or just a different placement? That's something I've talked about with, if you guys have come to our plant day, you've met Randy, he's been arranging these forever. And he's like, oh, that would be kind of a cool, like a change up as well. I think the night skies are also a really good example. You had the dark purple with the white, and then when there was a white to complement it, I think it looked really good. And I thought the white plants we have, I can't think of their name right now, have a really healthy amount of greenery in them too. So I really liked how the night sky looked, especially complemented with the white. I think there was some simple like arrangement there. So I think there's some cool options to explore with that.
Do you think Randy would be open to coming to a meeting and just presenting on the layouts for each of the beds and planters and being like open to any feedback from the commission about placement?
Yeah, I think we could just, because that would also, if you guys have come, one thing that works really well on our plant day is we'll usually do buckets, or there's a name, I'm just gonna say buckets for now, there's a fancy name. Planters, plastic planters, that you can just pull and put. And I think those do add a good depth of color in that. And I think talking about, we have really simple diagrams and everything, but I think that could be again, a very good productive meeting. Like, oh, what if we did red and white here? Yeah.
I think just showing up for planting days, generally, we're just given a map and here's what, so I think it would be great to be part of that discussion before the maps are made of how to arrange things.
No, I think that'd be a great meeting too, because I think it'd be like, hey, we have pictures of most of our flowers that we order and everything too.
Last year when we were doing, I think it was planting day when we were discussing the Leaf Hansen plat area, it was very empty. And so I think we were talking about getting more greenery instead of just flowers and less kale, but more greenery for the ground. So maybe that's something we can discuss, more full greenery. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Maybe that's something we'll talk about when it comes to, are we voting on plants or that's just discussions?
I think I need to look at. Oh, it's a discussion.
Okay.
Yep, it's a discussion.
So then the next meeting, when we actually pick out plants, maybe the next one will come with more greenery options?
These were the plants we're gonna pick out.
These are the ones
Well, that's something that's something I can take into thing, and me and Randy, when we do our order, which we'll probably do over the next 2 weeks. This is the time. This is the discussion right now. Yeah.
So I don't see in the pictures or the name that droopy one that everybody liked when we did the walkthrough, the
We
one
grow
with
those from
the
seed.
trailing. Yeah.
Yeah, those are like one of the 3 we grow from seed. So we do kale and we do daisies and nasturtiums from seeds.
And then the other feedback I had from some of the public was they really actually enjoyed the vegetables and were harvesting them to consume.
I also ate while I was planting.
But I think there's also like an opportunity, like the kale, again, that's very easy to grow. We get seeds, but like a new greenery. Like what could our options be for a nice greenery backdrop? I think that's a really good discussion to have here.
What about ferns? I don't know how hard they are to grow.
We do have some. Yeah. They come, because they're perennials.
Yeah, like I want to say in the bean bed or something.
In the same bed as the, rhubarb.
Yep, that's the bean bed. Yeah, over right across the road from Louis.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the one that trails out. The bed. It's over by Louis. They're not on the list, because they're perennials. The ferns?
The one in the fish field?
Oh, no, those are nasturtiums.
Okay.
Yeah, those are annual flower.
That's the only plant I can think of for greenery. I don't know a lot of plants.
Juniper shrubs are like more of like a grass shrub. So not a grass, but like a ground covering shrub. This is, or can you look it up online? A juniper?
Might be something that we.
We'll just,
Might be something we might have to suggest for next time, because they need to research it and see if we're zoned for that. And,
Oh, I will say, like out front, we have juniper shrubs.
Oh, you do?
That's actually the ground covering in there, and that's a really sturdy. But and I would say in some of our annual beds, we'd probably look for an annual plant to put in there. But I think the ferns and the junipers are something there. And there's again, it kind of goes with the flowers. It might be good to order a couple things to test out this year and be like, hey, let's try some greenery here and see how it goes. But yeah, no, the nasturtiums, that's actually something we noted. It was like they did so well, and me and Randy have notes somewhere where we got 2 different types of nasturtiums, and one seemed to really pop, and I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was the one that didn't say Alaska, believe it or not, but.
Sam has a hand up.
You guys muted me, so I couldn't chat or mute.
Sorry, Sam.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think there's a way that you can make me one of the people that can talk as needed, but I can't even chat in here. So it's hard to be part of the discussion when I don't have access.
So you're unmuted now, and I didn't try to mute you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, my video, everything's disabled on my end, but that's okay. Anyway, I agreed with everybody that we need more greenery and stuff, but you're ordering in the next 2 weeks. So anything that we would have needed to talk about would have had to been presented tonight. Is that what I'm catching?
Yeah, if I was gonna go over like specifics, but I think it's something that on my end I can like research like what greenery may like work and like try maybe 1 or 2 different orders and then see how it does this summer.
Okay.
yeah, I think that was the only area that I really felt lacked character. It's called Leaf Hansen, right? Okay, yeah, because the flowers are pretty, it's just needed more. So I really hope this year we can just put more in there.
Okay.
And I think something that would help me, because I don't do plants, I couldn't tell you what an annual or what the other one's name is, like the mapping of which beds are the two different types of plants, that would help me. And then I came to plant day for the first time this last year, and plants had some names, but they were tiny. And I wasn't familiar with them, and so I don't know if the plants that on the map had the little name, not a picture, it just had a name. If you could put a picture of the plant on the map.
On the map, like on the diagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that would be helpful, and that's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Are we,
Just 1 second, I want to see.
I can take it off and on now.
Oh, you can't, okay. Sam, can you confirm that really quick?
Yep.
Okay, good, all right, I was just worried about that.
are we looking at ordering the exact same amount of flowers this year, or is there any room for ordering more?
Same, probably same amount, because our budget was approved in July 1, so we're probably in there. Where we would probably flex around there would be that, like, okay, we're gonna order less of this and more of this, or we're gonna do, depending on what our options are for greenery.
Would the greenery be instead of the kale, or you guys, I thought you said that you guys liked the kale, right? Okay.
Well, and it sounds like some of the locations, maybe, that's what and I know talking with, I know Sarah brought up a point on one time of even in some of our circle planters, like, did we even need kale in those? Because there's a term, and I always forget what it is with planting, and it definitely did not hit a certain stage in one of our Leaf Hansen beds where it didn't seem full. But it's similar to the term trickle gush flow, like a water. There's a term in plants where it's like when we plant them and then it's going to grow and then like it's going to look really good. And Leaf had a couple beds that just hit the mark in there, and I remember that during our tour. But I think there's an opportunity for, like, in our planters, I don't know if we need kale. I think we could just have flowers in those. I think they look really pretty when they're just like full of nasturtiums or full of, red and white. And I think they look really good that way. I think they look, and I don't think we need a complex dynamic where we have a bush in the middle of it or anything like that, so.
I agree. I don't think that the round planters need a plant of height and greenery in the center. I think they would look really nice having the nasturtiums and around on the outside, and then, petunias in the middle, and so that it's just a big full bed. But that's where I wanted to bring in Randy next time and have those discussions and be like, let's look at and have the layouts in front of us and make notes and.
With pictures.
And with pictures and suggest changes before it goes to planting days as a layout.
Yeah. And this is where I think this is a good, like I said, we got some new plants last year, and I think this is a good step forward, and then reassessing where we are and following those goals for like next year too. But I think this, like, the night skies we got. But I think also, what can we do with our arrangements we have with the plants we know that do well here and everything? And I know those nasturtiums popped last year. And then so, like, for example, I'm leaning on Sam here. In the planter across from the chamber, there's a giant bush that I don't fully understand. I don't know if that would need to be there. I think it doesn't look even with everything, but I would also be open if someone's like, no, that bush looks great if you just trimmed it into a pretty square.
Are you talking about the one by the sign, or like in front of the sign? No, not in front, behind the sign.
I think, no, I was talking, it's directly across the highway from the chamber.
Oh, okay.
There's
Are
one
we
of them.
is there gonna be flowers in front of the sign this year?
The Kenai sign where we usually put flowers?
Yeah, there used to be there used to be barrels there, and when you took them out, it looked really barren.
Yes. Just remind me.
A fun idea, I think, for in like planting day, for the barriers that hold the planters, it would be nice if we could do like an arts and craft kind of day. That would definitely do some, you would have to do some researching, like how to get the concrete to stick with broken tile or marble or whatever. But that would be a really fun project to get the community involved. Because they don't have to, they could be abstract, they don't have to have a pattern. But I know we have a lot of crafty people like the library. I'm sure we can get a lot of people that would be on board with that. Yeah, Home Depot, they might even donate, be a sponsor and donate tile squares. And then we just get a sheet or a blanket and then break them up. But that would be a fun project to decorate.
Next time you're in Girdwood, can you take a picture of those and send?
Yes.
Because to follow on that too, I know one thing we're trying to figure out still is getting our Leaf Hansen fountain with like an acid washing and trying to get a good base on it. And just we talked about it to see options for the planters too, and making those concrete planters look less like concrete planters.
Was there any movement on the refinishing the fish?
The metal fish? There has not been any movement on it. Besides, because there are some old ones that we were gonna potentially use it isn't official yet, but we relabeled, we're making a new ski trail sign. And we've named all the trails, red, silver, pink, king. And we were gonna utilize some of our older ones and try to get a finish on them and use them as some trail markers in the ski trails too, to add a fun little sprinkle on it, because none of our ski trails had any names. And one thing we hadn't done in a really long time was we remapped them this year, which was someone going out in the off season before it snowed on a bicycle and with a GPS locator, because it's hard to do on a snow machine if you're not on skis or on that. And so we got Randy, our guy who's groomed for a long time, and he biked the trails a couple times and we remapped them. But
So let us know how and if you're able to refinish those fish very well, and then we can potentially look at the ones that are in the planters and see if they are due or necessary to be refinished, or if they just look good the way that they are rustic. But I think eliminating the kale around the center of those flower beds will make those fish pop. Right now, I feel like they just get lost in the greenery when they're in, and especially the one with the bush, like you're talking about, there's a bush in that planter and the fish just get lost.
well, and one thing I think would be, one thing I would seek feedback from on is when we do our tour, because before I felt like they besides in the bean bed where they do sometimes get lost, but the bean bed almost has a river-esque look to it, and they look intentional there. There were some places I feel like we just stuck a metal fish to stick a metal fish, and I would love to know the feedback from the commission on like, oh yeah, like here makes sense. And I think that would be really valuable feedback, because I couldn't tell you why there were some here and there weren't some there. And it didn't have like a pattern or organized or a right feel to it. So that would be a really, I think, nice information on that. Because like, okay, hey, fish would go really well right here. And it'd be like, oh, okay, that would make sense. Because we had them just sporadic and I couldn't make tail ends of it when we were there.
What about next to the bluff? Because there's that brass monument, which might have the feel of the brass fish. So keeping them together might be it's just an idea.
I don't know what monument you're just talking
The
about.
bronze bear statue, is that what you're talking about? Or,
Across from Chatka's Elder Center. Denina Wellness, Chatka's Elder Center, the park right there.
in the scout.
Oh, okay. No, and those beds that actually might work there, so. Maybe on our next tour, we bring some of the fish with us.
There you go. But then we would need something to leave Hansen, though. It would be kind of bare, I think.
All right, any further discussion on that? No? Okay. I'd like to open up some discussion on the mural locations and themes. Staff report on murals?
Okay, last spring, I talked to an artist through the Kenai Community Foundation. I think it's about $20 a foot. So it's pretty feasible to where we could look at doing a mural somewhere. I know locations discussed were on some pre-existing ones. I always think green strip because it's so front and center. We have the side of our restrooms there. This would sound like a copy, but I think it's also would be more street facing than like I use the Soldotna Creek Park as an example. They got local artists to do the outside of their bathrooms there. The only sad thing is it's kind of hidden in there. There's actually some really cool artwork by local artists, and I think on the green strip there you have the pavilion itself that could host it. You have the bathrooms it could do it, and how they did it is they had the artist do it on a piece of plywood, and then it was like sealed and mounted. And then talking to the artist, there's multiple options down there. And then there's also options the rec center is a very, very large brown building with some very big flat walls. There could also be an option to put some at the rec center. But I was thinking pre-existing buildings that the city owns, I thought those were some cool options to explore. Open up to other things too.
I think coming into Kenai, it's so important to catch their eyes as soon as they get in, because once you have their attention, as soon as welcome to City of Kenai, it's dark. I think you said it was redone a few years ago. To me, it still is very, what's the word I'm looking for? It just doesn't have that pizzazz. It doesn't grab your attention. Like Soldotna, as soon as you walk in, they have this like weird square thing, but it's abstract and it kind of is an eye catch. The skating rink is kind of close to the opening of Kenai. I think somewhere as soon as I think where our focus needs to be, because as you go towards the airport and everything, people are still going to be coming through Kenai to get to the airport, to get to their hotel, and travel through. So that's where I think the focus for the murals would be, but I love the mural ideas.
So follow-up question on that. Were you saying like on the side of the ice rink or just like a mural hung up like a sign? Because I was thinking like putting it on something that's like a pre-existing structure. And that's where I just wanted a clarification.
I was trying to think of city-owned. That's the only thing that's close to the Welcome to Kenai sign that I could think of as city-owned was the ice rink. That I think is the first city-owned building. Yes, an existing building would be ideal.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you had like an example like the Girdwood thing, the planters or anything like that.
Throw down an idea.
Okay.
I know I'm doing this the wrong way. Let's try to watch that baby.
It's fine, you're on YouTube.
Great. I love the idea of murals. Everybody knows that. I think the rec center is a great one. It's huge, and like that could be, in my mind, that theme is just like sports and recreation, right? So like basketball, pickleball, whatever kind of user groups are in there. Maybe paint some like LARPers on the outside too.
Wait, what was that?
Some LARPers, just any kind of like recreation stuff. I just really like that idea. And also, we can just mural the whole city. I get that coming into the city. I come in from the other side, it doesn't matter though. The green strip is so prominent, and now that like Parks and Rec, you guys are doing more events over there too, I think that would make sense. As far as like theme there though, I have no ideas. Like, I mean, so many ideas, right? It could be salmon, it could be wildlife, it could be baseball, I feel like, because that's baseball right there, but it could really be anything. even if they painted like wildflowers on it or something. Yeah, let's mural the whole city, I agree.
I do think the rec would be a really good one, because it's just a brown building and it could definitely use a facelift. That would be a good one.
Maybe in January, we could solicit some folks from the art center to come in and talk about murals and what works and what doesn't,
Oh, just to get an idea of like
to
what
get some theme ideas and go from there in January and continue this discussion in January.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we have a meeting in January?
Apparently we do.
I do know there's a thing in my director's report. There's a joint work session about the CIP plan in January, I know, but I would have to look at this to verify that.
I think doing at the softball fields, adding the dip net and the fish theme, having that be kind of a focus over there, since that's overrun camping during dip netting season.
Any further discussion on murals at this point? I think Brittany brings up a good point about signs. Is that something that we could make a discussion topic for later?
Yes, I think a really good point to look at, and that would be when we develop our work plan goals. Because I think I didn't do it in this meeting because this was from October. But like the last parks packet I did put together, we reviewed our work plan goals. A lot of these discussions were things we wanted to discuss from our work plan. So like we have our typical stuff that will meet, like the CIP plan is a typical thing that goes forward and is supported by code. But these were topics I wanted to make sure we covered that we talked about in our tour and we've talked about in the past. And they're directly influenced by the work plan goals that the commission approved. So these were things I did want to go over to make sure it was staying in the forefront. But I think signs would be the perfect opportunity for a work plan goal.
The fiscal year, when that comes around, we should probably have that plan in place, so we could put that in the budget. So January is when you guys approve those goals? January 31st?
The CIP plan is it will be approved in January, and then we submit our budget for the next fiscal year starting in February.
So far, what we're putting forward for approval is going to be the lights, the display lights. And at this point, what we're going to do is add the signs and continue the mural conversations on our work plan goals for next year.
But I did want to say, the murals has been a goal and a discussion item that we've had for the last year. So going into this, this is just continuing the conversation, but I am mindful of the murals going into the next budget season. The signs we might fall behind on for this year, but it could be that discussion item where I think part of our spring tour, hey, you know what, let's park in the Walmart parking lot. Let's walk over to the sign. And I think that could be another thing to bring up going forth into the next budget year. But I think with the murals, we're on that going into it. It's not, the murals won't fall into a capital project. I think it'd be like, I think we could look at doing one to like a couple of those and looking at that. And that's kind of what I had planned to submit in my budget cycle this year.
Do you need approval from us to move forward with putting a mural in your budget?
No, this was a discussion to support the work plan goals. So I think when we go through it, especially if I do submit it, it'd be like, oh yeah, we're moving forward. We're going to submit a special project for XYZ to have a mural placed at.
So I think with regard to the sign, just to make note that maybe, I don't know how much plot of property is there, but maybe putting up some of the trees that the leaves fall off of, and that way during the Christmas season, the stems, the base can be illuminated to draw attention to the sign.
Okay.
I think we didn't have electrical is why we didn't, where the sign is, do we have electrical power? I really like that idea.
Far away, we might. I guess there was once upon a time, we did do some decorations out there. And I was, I think, pulled from the nearest street light. But I know we also discussed new technologies and, maybe if we didn't start with big, but looked at something that might be able to make it through the winter on a battery or slash solar setup and do something along those lines. Especially with how everything's LED now and pulls minimal power.
Yes, I really like Sonia's idea. That sounds like a good way to vamp up that sign.
Anything else on that murals topic? Okay, we'd like to open up the discussion about the 2024 winter tour recap. Staff report, please.
All right, we're gonna do a tour. We can't share a car this time, so we kind of kept it focused on just the immediate area. There's two new things around City Hall. So on that side, some little baby trees that got decorated. But this is also, we had a really big focus of talking about maybe doing a light replacement, street pole light replacement, and then we had some requests to wrap more bases and everything at Leaf Hansen, and so we kind of followed that. So immediately following this, we'll kind of go through Leaf Hansen, and I think we wrapped, I want to say 5 more trees. Now, we're kind of maxed out on our power grid, so I think we took where we didn't wrap 2 canopies on, actually one of the trees that were by the fountain that got the canopies wrapped, one of those is no longer there. It split and was gonna die, it was dying, so we actually removed it because it was a hazardous tree, so that tree definitely did not get lights on it because it is no longer at the park. But we kind of spread it out and I think elongated the park really nice and kind of covered it in there really well. I know my children really liked it, and we bought a lot more of the ribbon lights where it wraps the trees nicely. The one thing we ran into with when we were trying to do more of the branches, but when the branches get sparse, it was getting really difficult to expand it out there. So overall, the recap from the 24 was to kind of see what we could do in Leaf Hansen, and that's kind of something we tackled in there. I think another discussion was I tried to show we changed out a bunch of bulbs on some of our street light decors. It is a electrical nightmare when you get this rain and this freeze, because sometimes I'll be driving down the road and I'm like, that one worked yesterday, and we have to get the bucket truck and reset the GFI and everything, and the last 2 winters have not been kind to that rain, that freeze. But I was really happy with how Christmas comes to Kenai and seeing how people came in, and I don't know, I know the parks team really enjoys it. Like when we do the tour here in a little bit, I think they were really excited to try to do Kenai colors on the lilacs out there. They were really happy with they were shooting for Kenai colors. So.
I wanted to say that I think that the lights look really good. I like the bases of the trees wrapped. I think my next level request would be to have either of them all be the same color or maybe 2 colors. Like you could do red and white for kind of candy cane look, and having the trees, so right now there's just like lots of colors, but if we just stuck with 1 color or 2 colors for the bases of all the trees wrapped. Last year when I was in Anchorage, there was a group of trees in front of a business, and they were all just base wrapped with like a really pretty blue, and the whole thing was just blue, and I thought that was really pretty. Blue's not as appropriate in Kenai, but red, like if they were all red, that would be great, Kenai colors, or white also. So I think that would be my next up level request and to stick with the colored lights in other areas and just kind of focus the effort in like one park being sort of one color with maybe a static or display or two, but kind of maybe being a little more mindful of the placement of the themes and the static displays, if that makes sense.
More teddy bear static displays.
Oh, Lord.
No, I think that follows though a pattern and a notion there too. I think it'd be easy to, where we have the one tree that has like the multi-light colors. There's almost a natural break in Leaf Hansen where you could probably break and do a like 1 to 2 color theme through it.
I really like that idea, but I would also add, like, if you had a main tree that you did the red and white, both red and white on it, like a candy cane, but then like flowers, you want to spread that red and white out and not do too many that are blended red and white, but do white here and red there. And maybe it would become a place that adults would want to hang out, or a couple might want to get engaged at, or
Photos.
take photos, and it, be like the flower field where people want to go there and take photos. So maybe we can.
Wrapping the trees that can be wrapped, and I don't mind the, like the spruce type trees where they are more circular and embedded in there. That works. I think where I struggle is with a tree that just has one string of lights. Like I think I told you about the one, there's a bush or something that has like a small strand and then a thicker strand and a small strand, and it sort of looks like a UFO. And I'm like, it makes me laugh every time I go by, but I think maybe that one wasn't quite what I was envisioning. Experiment, but just a little more intentional and deliberate to make it look really fairy Christmas more.
Well, I'm just gonna check in. Sam, you can still talk, right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
I like that idea of doing the tree one color. For the bushier trees, are you envisioning one color on those, or the multicolor lights? Are those still good? Okay. I think the multicolor lights on the bushy trees would be fine, but just sticking to one color. Like the white, I think is so elegant. It has like an enchanting winter wonderland kind of feel. So I do like having just one solid color, maybe doing red and white. But I think the bushy trees, they do have the multicolors, and those are kind of neat too.
Yeah, and when I mean multicolors, like I think more like sticking with red and white on the bushy trees to kind of bring them into kind of a candy cane feel type Kenai thing, and then white and then red, versus introducing just the standard Christmas colors into, because then now you're adding a third element, if that makes sense.
I like lots and lots of colors. I realize why Phil again, but I so dislike white Christmas lights. I just think they need to be more colorful. But I do think it would probably be nice if like the whole park, like Leaf Hansen, was all white. I was gonna say that, but I like all of them. I think the more the better, but that's just one opinion.
But you can use all the Christmas lights like at the chamber or at this building area, or there's like, you could pick a theme for each kind of area. And maybe the airport would be a good area to be white because of the Bronze Bear and all the other things that are going on there. Maybe we would do kind of all white lights at the airport, but then maybe we do red and white at Leif Hansen, and then maybe we do all the colors here at City Hall, things like that. So more concentrated efforts.
Okay.
I think it'd be super helpful for us, for Parks and Recs, if we actually map that out for them. So like the next meeting, if we drew a picture of, or you guys have maps already on your website, the maps, we circled it and said red and white, colorful white, that would set everyone up for success. given us homework today.
And that could be a discussion topic for May or April or something, or even into September, but whatever you need.
Well, and like you guys said with like I said with the flowers, I mean, we use a lot of these lights year in and year out. I don't know if I could promise a 100% transformation next year, but I think we could get started, and that's why I said like there's a break in Leaf Hansen, and I think there's some stuff we could look at rearranging and seeing concentrated efforts, and just kind of seeing how that looks and everything there too.
I'm looking for a 100% transformation.
But anyway, I like that term with the concert. I think that follows the talk we had with the flowers about like, okay, what can we do here intentionally and everything too.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think that just even if your department could provide us with some kind of a approximate layout, like what do you guys think of this? Like if we, and using the lights that we already have, if we did this in this area and that, and then just if we could get some input, I think that would be great. So I love that idea.
So it would be helpful for us, and maybe we can just go count it, to know exactly how many whites, how many reds, how many colors. Do you guys keep inventory like that?
No,
Okay.
we have totes.
Right. I'm totally nesting right now and I have borderline OCD, so I will come over there and roll them all up in colors. So let me know.
No, and I think that probably adds a change up every year because we'll see different things and we'll have different things happen. Like, I think every time we rehang the one multicolored spruce tree in Leaf Hansen, like the next day it blows 40, and then it looks like we didn't hang it intentionally, and it's just.
I think it would be a good idea for us to add this as part of our work plan and during that session, where we're discussing the signage and the lights and the murals. And for me, I would need a visual of like, this is the spruce tree and these are these trees in the map of each area that we potentially will illuminate.
Okay.
Anything else on the winter tour? So we have a report. Director Best, do you have a report for us?
Yep. Yeah, so in the packet, you can see we got a couple just mid-month reports. Again, this was originally put together in October, and I saved that over and carried it over. Mid-month reports, I always really like. All departments do them for the second council meeting. They're always in there, so you get a good snapshot of what's going on. I just submitted mine for the November for the council packet next week. It covered things such as what's going on at the rec center. It's cold. Our ski trails are unskiable. Our municipal park walking trails are in okay shape. We typically just sand the entrance because we don't have large scale sanders, but we actually took the time to sand the entire loop just so people could have a safe place to walk off the road. I don't know if we can always upkeep that, especially when it starts snowing, but we usually make an effort to sand the entrances of municipal park and then keep that plowed so people can walk off the street safely. It's about a half a mile, but we always get a lot of people walking out there. And then yes, our ski trails are currently not skiable with all this really bad weather. And then we're starting to poke around at Dobbinspec Pond right now. It didn't have really good conditions, so we'll be kind of checking that out the next couple days. And then in January, I don't have the date right now, the beginning of January, I think it's 7th, there's a joint work session on, I think, capital planning where all the commissions are invited to with council, but it's like a large scale. Usually council will be up on the dais and commission members will usually sit in the audience. And that is my report.
Wonderful, thank you. My report is that Tyler and I met and discussed this information and then had planned on presenting at the October meeting, but we didn't have enough attendees, so it got pushed to this meeting. So I'm glad we're finally getting this rolling. And we have more work to do, it sounds like, on our work plan. What is that term you use for that?
I think it's
Workplace
I think it's
goals?
work plan goals.
Work plan
Yep.
goals. So we'll do some more work on the work plan goals for next year and continue to work on this year's work plan goals. So that is my report. It looks like Glenise Petty is our new city council liaison, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so she's not present tonight. So are there any additional members of the public who would like to address the committee at this time? Young man? Any remote attendees that wish to speak? Okay. We have another meeting scheduled for January 13th, 2026. Is anyone planning to be absent or unavailable at that time?
What was the date one more time?
Tuesday, January 13th, 2026.
I won't be here. This is my last meeting. I'm off the commission.
We so appreciate your dedication, Emily, to the commission and all of your time served. I know your hands are full and your heart is full as well. So thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It's, we're gonna do comments, right? I'll wait.
So did anyone have a conflict on the 13th? Okay. Should be good to go. Sam, you can let us know if you have a conflict. All right, we'll start with some comments and questions. Sam, do you have anything you wanted to comment on tonight?
Nope. I'm excited to see the flowers in full bloom of summer again. I'm tired of ice, so I'm already ready for that. And it looks like I'm good to go for the 13th.
Thank you, Sam. Brittany, do you want to go next?
Just to recap on today's meeting, I can print out maps, the city of Kenai maps for everyone for January 13th, and then we can discuss where we wanted our lights. So I'll print out maps. If we can also, by January 13th, have a couple ideas of the static signs that we want to vote on. And this is just a recap, so this is all reiterated. Another one is need maps. Okay, so need maps. And then how many colors, maybe we can have like an estimate of how many colors we need per park. So I'll print maps. If we can all have some ideas of static signs, we can have that. And quick question, I thought of it after we moved on from the winter tours. Do we decorate the lake with lights?
Yes, we have a pole, when weather lets us, because that can be a factor in getting there, but we have a pole set up that will do some lights out there.
Very nice, okay. That is it for me.
Tyler, thank you for yours and your staff's time in putting together the packet. I think I followed through with it, and it turned out very nice. So thank you for you and your staff's time.
Yeah, it's my last meeting. Just a little bit busy, got a new job, got 2 babies now, so I'm just not gonna do all these extracurricular meetings. But as we were meeting, I was just thinking, we're talking about all these things. I recognize we're adding a lot of things to your plate as we go through all this, Tyler. And you have not that big of a staff, so, yeah, thanks for all that you and your staff do. I know it's not, there's not 100 of you over there, it's just like, how many full-times, like 6, maybe 5?
5.
Yeah, just 5. That's crazy. Nice work. Please keep it up. And no need to sand your path, just send everybody to the field house. But yeah, no, it's been fun, but yeah, I just need to not do so much extra things. Thanks, everybody.
Totally understandable. Lots of things happening, and it's great to be involved when you can. We do, with Emily stepping off, have 3 vacancies on the commission. So hopefully we'll get some applications soon. I think it's posted on the city website as well as other areas. So for the listening and viewing public, you know, we have some openings on this commission. We'd love to have more community involvement. You can apply online. And I am very appreciative also of Parks and Recreation's time and efforts, and Director Best's efforts to put all these things together. So thank you very much for taking such good care of us. I think that I don't really have too much else. It's almost Christmas. It's very exciting. I hope everybody has a really great Christmas. I don't see any further action.
No, the only thing I'd follow up with Brittany is reach out to me if you get something, and then, so any member of the body can put something on the agenda too. So if there's a discussion item, you can reach out. It would just have to be at minimum a week before the meeting when we public notice it. Please before that, but where we could add an agenda item. And if you had something you wanted to add into the packet, that could also happen.
And then question, how many people do we have that do not live in Kenai that's on the board?
I think by city code it's 2.
Okay. Do we have anyone who does not live in Kenai?
Me.
So we would have 1 available
Okay.
open space for someone who does not live within the city limits.
So come April, I'll be in K Beach at that point, and I'll technically be Saldana. So maybe, because we're gonna have new members coming on, and
I
I'll,
would touch base with the clerk on that and just let her know so that we can make sure we plan for that.
very good.
Anything else? All right, seeing no further business, we are adjourned.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna join on the tour. 7 minutes.